Okay, so what I did is you can see there's a gate right there, and that was the field that they were on. All right, and where I'm standing right now, give you a better view, this is like a corridor that connects this field to that field, and then there's one in the middle. And I wanted to put them on the one in the middle. This is field peas, all right, and we got a pretty good stand of them. And I got a little bit of rain day before yesterday, and they perked right up. So I got a really nice load of feed out here for them. This has been like a work in progress, you know. I mean, first we just fenced the outside of it, and then we put the electric on the inside of it, and then we put up, let's see, we put up a fence over there, so it was 200 by 100, and now I put up this fence this year, so it's 100, 100, 100, so it's 100 by 100, with the exception of the center field because of this lane. So this takes off about 14 feet. All right, so, but it's still good size, still good size. Okay, and the day before yesterday, I'll turn this around real quick, we accomplished this inside fence, that electric fence. You can see that, I hope. These guys are panting because they haven't found the water. Oh, some of them have. All right. There's a fine mangalitsa right there, going through the little shedding process. They do that in the springs, in the summer. Some of them do, some don't. I don't know rhyme or reason why that is, but so here's the inside electric fence. That's actually the primary. The woven wire, hopefully they never get to it. And then there's another gate right here, and I just opened that up, and they all toddled right on through. Even the one that didn't want to go through, she actually did go through. And the lane here, or the corridor, whatever we're going to call it, they've cleared it off. Okay, so this is nice. I didn't have to weed whack this. All I had to do was let them in here for a day, and they cleared it off. And it's just, you know, plants that we haven't planted, plants that we don't call the W word anymore. So now they're in here. All right, we had to put a jumper on here so we could bring electricity from the outside to the inside. And the way I did this was just with a chunk of hose right here. So I jumped off of here, jumped right through and onto there. And I usually put these on loosely. So let's say I'm going to take the pigs out of there. I might disconnect this. So then this field would be cold. Okay, now what I need to do is probably put a jumper over here. Well, I have a jumper over here. See right there, there's a jumper that goes from this corner into this field, right? Now, I may want to take that off because this is going to be my next field to come in and do some things with. I'm going to level this out a little bit. This is where they've been having their wallow right here. So I'm going to level that out. I'm probably going to pull a cultivator through there just to break it up a little bit, but it's been dry enough where they haven't compacted it. And you can see in the middle there where all those radishes are that they were not interested in. And I mean, they started from the outside and they're working their way in. So they were eating some of them, but they didn't like them too well. And we had all this in here, so we thought we'd put them in. I realize this sounds terrible, these guys panting like this. But as soon as we put them in here, they'll run around the outside to see where everything is. And it's a really hot day today. Okay. So let's show the water system. I'm big on this. I've invested a lot of time in talking about drip irrigation, and I think it's something that you should look at. There was no water to this particular field. There was a line that went straight across here, and all I had to do was tap into it with a T, which took me all of about 30 seconds, and then put one of these lines in. All right, this is a 50-foot chunk, a 50-foot roll. I just got 2 of them last night at Home Depot. It was under $4 for 50 feet. All right, this stuff is great. Make sure you get the black or the brown. Don't get clear. I don't even see clear anymore, but if you ever see it, don't think, oh, this will be cool. Don't get clear, because it'll fill with algae and it'll plug your system up. So this is about what it looks like. All I did was temporarily, I have something else I have to go do, so just temporarily I ran this water line over to them, and I just got it spraying in here. And so now they're gonna do the engineering and make a little hole or whatever and cool themselves off and get something to drink. All right. That panting sounds terrible. I hate when pigs are panting. But that's what happens to them on hot days. Now, this pen does not have a shelter in it, but that's on my list of things to do this summer. Wintertime shelters are not really all that important for these pigs, but summertime it is kind of important, especially on a hot day like today. They need some place to get in out of the sun. But as you can see, this forage out here is high enough. You can't even see the ones that are laying down over there. I'll turn around. You can't even see them. All right, it's that deep. So they can get laid down in there and they can cool off pretty well. They're full. We fed them. We fed them in here today so that we could get them all in here and close the gate. But let me share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly, which is important to do. Okay, this is a great system, okay? I'm growing lots and lots of feed, and we've set it up for as little effort on our part as we can for the most amount of calories that we're going to produce for them. But here's what happens. I build this really nice thing for them. Every pig will come in here to eat, except for one. She just says, no, I'm going to stay in here. I know there's no food, you shut the water off, but I'm staying in here. I'm not going in that other pen because I know you want me to go in there and I'm not going to do it. She was the same one that in pen 1, when I needed to get her over here into pen 3, she was like, no, I'm not going. I went in there with a motorcycle, chased her around. They're in there with all three kids, and go figure. There's always one like that in a bunch. Through our history of doing pigs, there's always been one. And sure enough, she wouldn't leave this pen. I finally got her in here, and I determined that a Red Ryder BB gun extends my reach. And she knew that she was going to get popped with that until she went through the gate. And I finally got her to go through the gate. And then she was in here. We were feeding in here, made sure they got a little bit of water in here this morning because it was so hot. And then I wanted them to go into this pen. All of them went, but not her. She would not go. So she's a sow. If she was a barrow and we were thinking about doing some butchering, she would be number 1 on the list. But she's a sow, and now she's pregnant. So we just have to deal with the personalities sometimes. And that's the deal with her. Okay, now I'm good here. I got water going in here. They have plenty of feed. We fed them in here. They have shade. The pen is turned on, so there's electricity in there. But, you know, these guys are not going to push fences. These are all mature animals, and they just don't push fences. And there's so much feed in here. Why would they, right? So I have nothing to worry about. I still haven't milked. Good, bad, and the ugly. Let's talk good, bad, and ugly. One of my milk cows this morning made her way over to my neighbor's, and it would have been really bad if all of them made their way over there, but they didn't, just one of them. The rest of them were at the barn. So she was over there lost. And so we went over there and had to get her. And of course she ran out into the cornfield, and it's a new planting and we didn't want to do any damage to it. But so it took time to chase her out and chase her back to the house. And it was purely my fault. I had something going last night. I knew I needed to move fences for fresh graze for them, but I had something else going that was funner. So I didn't. I said, I'll get it in the morning. And then, of course, my wife comes in this morning quite early and tells me Rose is over at the neighbor's house. So that took quite a bit of time to get her home. So I haven't milked yet. These guys needed water. And so while I was here doing the water, I have my Jeep with the equipment on. I decided that I would get them in. Now I'm done here. I can walk away from this for now. I mean, this water line, you see the way I've got it just draped over. That's not how it will be. You can ditch that stuff in. So I can go along with a spade here and make a ditch a foot deep, or maybe 16 inches deep, just below what I might plow in here. I don't even think I would plow, but if I did and I cut that line, it's not a major event. If I cut a 3/4 inch line that's got 60 pounds of pressure on it, that's a major event. This drip line is great because, you know, if I have a problem, I'm not going to lose tons of water. I'm not going to make a huge cesspool out here. And generally you catch it on a line like this. You'll catch it. You'll see it. There have been times when I've had a 1-inch line off, the way I used to do it, would come off, and I'd find there'd be a pond, and the pump was running constantly, and not a good situation. This is way better. That line right there, you see how that's running? All right, I'll let that go for a while, and then I'll probably put what they call a fountain on it. And I'll use some of my expertise to get it out a little way away from the fence. I don't want a big hole right here. If I can get it away from the fence, that would be good. And a fountain will put out less water, and I can even put a regulating valve back here. So this corridor right here, the gate will be open so I can walk in here anytime I want. We will probably drive through here to feed. Sometimes we'll even keep feed. We will keep feed in here and then get it thrown in there. Okay, so this is going to give us a place here to put stuff. You know, our fencers here. I got one fencer for the whole shebang. Each one of the paddocks I can isolate if I need to. Let's say that there's something over the wire or something. You know, sometimes something will happen with the wire and there'll be a huge problem, like in a pen that I'm not using. And if I just isolate that pen, then I have no problem in the other pens, if that makes sense. Okay. Get out there and get after it. It's a hot day. Have fun. Anyone can farm.